Coming up in this episode, the Rugby League Players Association and the NRL are talking over a collective bargaining agreement for player wages. Storm Hooker blasts NRL boss over the wages decision. And why Marty Taupau is in limbo because of these discussions. Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the channel Held Dominance. Anthony here. Please remember to like and subscribe, and also click that notification bell if you enjoy what you're seeing and if you want to see more. So where do we begin today? Well, we'll start at the beginning as we would, as the NRL, the players and the clubs are at loggerheads with negotiations of the forthcoming collective bargaining agreement, a CBA, as it has come to a standstill. Earlier this week, Melbourne gun Harry Grant claimed that development players on 60 grand Australian dollars would be better off on the tools to highlight the disconnect between the stars and the leagues at present. Meanwhile, other reports suggest that Canterbury football boss Phil Gould unleashed at the NRL Chiefs during the recent event, airing his frustrations at the lack of movement from all parties. But what is the collective bargaining agreement? Well, what do all parties want, and why is it really just about money? Daily Mail Australia has taken a look at those questions and done a very good write-up about it. What they say about the collective bargaining agreement is a deal between the NRL players, the clubs, and the NRL itself, which details minimum terms and conditions of a player's employment, as well as important financial agreements within rugby league. CBA also covers a number of factors that are key to the relationship between the NRL players and clubs, and take into account the interests of all parties. All parties are currently negotiating a deal that will come into effect in 2023. So who is representing the players? Well, it's the Rugby League Players Association, who represents every player contracted to an NRL club during these CBA negotiations. Former Newcastle Knights player Clint Newton is the chair of the association, and so the American is tasked with striking a deal that is in the best interest of the players. And according to the Sydney Morning Herald, the NRL, who's represented by Peter V'landys as well as Andrew Abdo and other stakeholders, say the NRL players have been offered a package worth 1.3 billion Australian dollars over the next 5 years, the biggest financial proposal in the game's history. In the show Transparency, the NRL claims that both clubs and players have been shown detailed breakdowns of the NRL's finances for the upcoming deal. Their offer to the players represents a 40.5% share of the consolidated revenue from the year and from next year. In real terms, the NRL insists that each club will have a salary cap of about $12 million, up on its limit of 9.18 set on the clubs at this time as a cap for their pay to players. That equates to an average salary of $400,000 a year for each player, although that figure is being disputed. They also stress that they need to take into account financial considerations outside of the men's games, with grassroots a priority. The Players' Union negotiating for its members wants a bigger slice of the pie. They asked for a share of consolidated revenue to be increased by 2% on the NRL's initial 40.5% offer. The Rugby League Players Association has also requested a small jump in the salary cap. Instead of asking the game to focus on putting money towards hardship and retirement funds in order to support players' medical costs once their careers finish, and if they become injured or uncontracted during their rugby league careers also. The clear majority of players will not see out the term of this CBA, Newton said. This is why players have representative bodies to make responsible decisions and invest in areas that will support them when they leave the game. If we are being greedy, we want to dump every dollar into the salary cap, making it $15 or $20 million. The area of ensuring retiring players are better looked after is something we're really passionate about. I'm a retired player. I'm lucky, but I know what it's like for others. I've seen teammates struggle and it's hard to watch. That's why every player has agreed to look after these guys rather than put the money into their own wallets. It's for injury hardship, medical support fund, all sorts of things. They've got the rest of their lives to live. The union also says it wants to direct most of the salary cap bonus to lower income players, which will raise the minimum wage to $150,000 a year from its current $60,000. Newton has also said that the RLPA is also calling for more investment in the NRL women's competition. There should be a big increase in the women's game, he said. They deserve that. The Commission has to be prepared to prioritise the women and the NRLW clubs. The problem is exacerbated because the broadcast deal does not provide $1 above production costs for the women's games. They're undervalued, our fantastic women athletes. The Rugby League Players Association have issues and they are disputing some of the figures that are quoted by the NRL with the proposal that they put forward. They are forecasting a salary cap of $10.5 million for the men's team in 2023, which they claim equates to an average salary of $360,000 per year. The association also argues that the CBA will have to cover more than 300 extra players due to the introduction of a new NRL team, the Dolphins, as well as 4 new NRL women's teams, meaning that they're actually going backwards, especially when inflation is considered. They're not overly convinced that the NRL's transparency when it comes to its finances during COVID either. Players agreed to take a pay cut during the pandemic, but the NRL performed better than expected financially and agreed that the players were due payback. The issue is how much the players should have received. But that's all more money down the line. There are other sticking points as well, for like appearance money while playing in the finals. Top player playing in all 4 finals games can earn as much as $36,000 for 4 games in appearance fees. The negotiations are ongoing, but players have been disgruntled by what it is currently and also what they're hearing from the Rugby League Players Association in the future pays. One of the loudest voices of what disgruntled with the current negotiations is Harry Grant of the Melbourne Storm, as he is reportedly angry with Peter V'landys after the footy supremo lashed out at the Storm star, commenting that some players would be better off getting on the tools as the NRL pay dispute continues. The Melbourne hooker comments came as the Rugby League Players Association and the governing body are continuing to hash out that agreement for 2023 and beyond. Grant, who is believed to be earning around about $1 million a season in the last 2 years of his contract, was referring to players who are the worst paid contracts in the NRL, worth around about 60 grand a year. But that didn't stop fans lashing out at his stance, and Peter V'landys followed suit, saying in the comments as well and an interview, "I don't see too many carpenters earning $500,000 a year." The Australian Rugby League Commission chair commented, the comment went down like a pint of nails with Grant, according to the Sydney Morning Herald, and footy fans wouldn't have endeared themselves to the Kangaroos rake either. Lately, sports stars have proven how out of touch with reality they really are. If you don't think you're getting a fair remunerated for playing a game, go get a job and see what in the real world and see what you're worth. One posted. With the coin they're earning, even though their careers are only for an average of 10 years, you would think they'd have enough sense to invest the money wisely, so they aren't left with the potentially nothing once the football income dried up, post another. However, Grant has been backed to the hilt by Rugby League Player Association boss Clint Newton, who said the 24-year-old was just sticking up for his fellow footballers. What Harry was trying to do was protect the guys at the bottom, he told the Herald. Of course, players at the top end are on decent money, and so they should be. Like any industry, those that are performing the best need to reward it the most. Harry has been carving up with some of the comments from other people in the industry. That's not what he was saying. Players are happy to play rugby league, and they love the game. Opinions are for everyone. Everyone can have one because it's an opinion. There's no real answer that doesn't equate to what the person's life experiences have been. Whether you've been in the game or not in the game. If you're paying your money to watch these stars, or if you're being paid the money that these stars are. Anyone can say what they like about the sport. As it does. I like it, to be honest. I must admit, it's a discourse. It will either inform. What's the other two? Inform, solidify, or change someone's opinion on that matter. There are other nuances like inform, but also in solidify, or inform and change, or solidify the change that you're going to do. I'm waffling now, but I like ideas, I like comments, I like people's perspectives. Harry Grant may have jumped in with both feet without really thinking about it. Don't like the stay in your lane comments either. It's not a case of that. He does have a point. Protect these youngsters that are coming through. 150 grand is to other players in the sport. But it is a big jump. Are we losing touch with these monetary values, going from this amount at the bottom end to the millions at the top? Or do we need that gradual step? Pay for what the stars are worth? While this is all going on though, you do have to worry about players that haven't got clubs at this point, as they may be chasing deals or being chased for deals, but they can't do anything until they find out what the salary cap is going to be in 2023 and what's the minimum they've got to pay for these type of players. There are certainly many NRL players that are left in limbo at the present due to the nature of their salary cap. With the cap negotiations being done in the background, uncertainty over the cap will look like in the future. And what it looks like in the future, the clubs are still not pledging what their financial packages to these potential signings are going to be feasibly able to offer to these gentlemen that are coming into the club until it's all rectified. They're all in a circle at this moment in time, circling the airport but not able to land. This is where former Super League target Marty Taupau comes in. He may be the high profile of them all, but as we said, there are many that are like that in the same position. The former Manly Eagles prop, who was once rumoured to be courted by the likes of Leeds Rhinos, has been pursued by Parramatta Eels for some time now. Now 4 more clubs are chasing him, resulting in a 5-club race for his signature, according again to the Sydney Morning Herald. However, this is a race that no one can win until Newton and the RLPA resolve their salary cap issues. This is also why Penrith Panthers cannot make a decision on the future of star player Stephen Crichton either. Taupau, who's just fresh off coming off a Rugby League World Cup with Samoa, has been a casualty of this entire situation. But with the proposals yet to be signed off on, this leaving clubs in a certain future or signing the Samoan in the NRL, interest could ramp up in the UK due to the fear of breaking the salary cap to sign the Samoan forward. Though Taupau isn't short of NRL interest, he spoke to the Sydney Morning Herald and said, "It's been really frustrating and stressful time. It's now a waiting game. Not on our end, but with all the negotiations happening with the NRL and Rugby League Players Association. What we did with the Toa Samoa at the World Cup and the success we had, it really lit a fire in me. And it got me excited for the coming season. I've been training 3 to 4 times a week and I'm prepared physically and mentally for the 2023 season. I'm backing my ability to get a new deal. There are a number of clubs interested, but it comes back to the cap and how much clubs can spend." The 32-year-old has spent 14 seasons in the NRL, making 222 appearances in the process. He has played 24 times for New Zealand and a further 9 appearances for Samoa, playing for them in the World Cup final defeat to Australia at Old Trafford. A big successful year and the start of something new for Samoa, but it's not the best of starts to 2023 for a player like Taupau, who's looking for a deal. And the clubs that are willing to take him on are looking for the right money so that they can make that deal. And that's it for another episode, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to like, subscribe and share this video worldwide, as well as clicking on that notification bell for any updates or new videos that may be coming your way in the near future. Tell me what your thoughts are on today's episode in the comment section below, as it's open for business. It is all money, 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 negotiations, negotiations, negotiations for 2023. You would have thought that they would have done that 6 months ago before the season starts. Anyway, we'll have to see how this plays out, and good luck to the players without any clubs. Hopefully you get sorted out as soon as possible. You would be a loss to Rugby League if you didn't. Anyway, thank you again for watching. Please remember to share this video worldwide. I'll end the episode as I always do by wishing you all the very best. So please stay safe, and I'll see you in the next episode.